Love is in the air. It's Valentine's Day. Let's talk about my favorite fantasy couple. Coming right up here on Drew's Book Reviews. Good day, and welcome to another episode of Drew's Book Reviews. Today, we're going to be talking about my favorite fantasy couple here on Drew's Book Reviews. So let's get into it. Let's talk about that. But before we get into that, make sure you hit that like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow me on Bookstagram, of course. You could also follow me over on my Discord. And don't forget, Hardcover app. That'll all be linked below as well. I'd love to hang out with you in any of those locations. So check that out. Anyway, let's talk about this. So within the fantasy and science fiction, there are so many couples to choose from. And, having that just awesome power couple within your story just can make such a great and fantastic addition to the overall story and arc. So today, I'm going to talk about my favorite fantasy couple from the books that I have read. And that couple is going to be Richard and Kahlan from the Sword of Truth series by Terry Goodkind. I absolutely love these two. They are some of my favorite characters that I've ever read about, and I absolutely love them. So yeah, let's talk about Richard and Kahlan. Richard and Kahlan are from this world. I don't even know what the world's name is. It's never really said throughout the series if this world has a different name. It's just the Sword of Truth world. But in any case, let's talk a little bit about who Richard and Kahlan are and how they met, and the fact they're just such an awesome power couple. So Richard is basically, he grew up as a woods guide, and I do need to put in some warning up front here. If you've not read the Sword of Truth series, this video is going to include spoilers about the series, so I've got to tell you that up front. So you've been warned. If you continue watching this, you've been warned. This video will contain some spoilers about the series. Anyway, Richard is a lowly woods guide. He grew up in a part of the world called Westland, which has no magic whatsoever. It was shielded off by this boundary that was set up by Richard's grandfather Zed, who also happens to be an extremely powerful wizard. However, he hid that fact from Richard his entire life, and he was a woods guide that just helped show people around the forests and mountain areas of his home, is essentially what Richard had done. And he always seemed to have this good eccentric old man friend, Zedekiah Zolsarander, who actually turned out to be his grandfather. Anyway, getting back to Richard for a little bit and what happened here. So Richard, one day when he's out in the forest, he happens to find this woman in distress, and that is Kahlan Amnel. She is fleeing from these quads that have gone out, who have been dispatched by Darken Raw, who also happens to be Richard's father. Darken Raw is this ultra mega powerful wizard that rules the land of Dahara, which is on the other side of the Midlands, which is that area ruled by magic and the confessors and all that kind of stuff, as is Dahara. Anyway, Kahlan Amnel is being hunted because she is the last of the confessors, and Darken Raw wants to rid the world of confessors. But Richard manages to step in and help save Kahlan Amnel from these people that are hunting her, and this is how the relationship began. This is how they started. Richard to the rescue. Now, definitely, it's very cliche, tropish in a lot of sense, with maiden in distress and the man comes to the rescue. Totally get that. But these characters, I absolutely love the dynamic that they have and how they came together and how that relationship grew. Both are kind of in a difficult position in which Kahlan, knowing the powers that she has, could never be with Richard because the powers and magic that she has would forever keep them apart. She is a confessor. A confessor is one who has the power to enslave anybody to their will at a simple touch. She releases her power, and to ever be with somebody, she would not be able to control her magic, and she would enslave their soul, completely destroying the essence of who they are. And so she can never be with Richard as much as she loves Richard, and Richard is frustrated because he doesn't really understand why he can't be with Kahlan, at least not at first. Of course, he eventually does come to figure this out. Now, Richard is also someone who was born with magic, though he doesn't know it. He's got both additive magic, which is the power of creation, and subtractive magic, which is the power of destruction, essentially. Richard, who eventually is named the Seeker of Truth, which is the individual powerful magic to get to the truth of matter and heart of all things, essentially. And he is named the Seeker of Truth and given the Sword of Truth by his grandfather, a wizard of the First Order, Zedekiah Zolzarander. And eventually they discover and learn that it is through the magic of the Seeker that Richard is in effect protected from Kahlan's magic. And that eventually breaks the barrier between them so that they can ultimately be together at the end when all is said and done. And I just love this power couple. Is definitely what I would call them, a power couple for sure. And the things that they have to go through in order to fight off the keeper of the underworld and together, and how Richard comes into who he ultimately needs to be. And even Kahlan at the beginning of this series is still kind of growing into her brother confessor reality that she has. She is the last of the confessors, and even she is starting to grow into who she needs to be as well. And it's together through the trials and the problems that Kahlan and Richard have had to face, that together they have grown together to become one of the world's most powerful leaders, rulers, and couple in all of literature, at least in my opinion. And I absolutely love this power couple from the Sword of Truth, and they're definitely one of my favorite couples, absolutely, in all of literature that I've read. So let me know down below, what do you think, or what is one of your favorite couples from literature? Who do you really like? Join me over on the Discord. I'd love to hear from you down there, because I think that would be fun to chat about your favorite power couple in literature, or even just favorite couple in general. I mean, there are definitely several that we can go through, I'm sure. I mean, there's lots out there, and I'd love to hear from you. So let me know down in the comments below or over on the Discord. I'd love to hear from you. And, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you're having a great day. And like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, keep on reading. Bye.